This is yet another podcast. This is I I I prefer calling it because nowadays we don't get to see eye to eye. We don't get to talk a lot. The people today that are being born are not going to enjoy the old days where um, you would know where someone was by looking at their bike that they left somewhere, by looking at sometimes you would take off shoes to enter someone else's house by looking at their shoes. You know it had its pros that a lot of people nowadays are not going to find. Uh, I feel bad for them. It's all I'm saying. Um, so I don't know where my point was with that, but yeah, we're here to make another upload. We're here to yeah. Here's the point. I got it again. We're here to talk and become friends, learn a thing or two from each other, visit culture, appreciate it. Don't go with the whole nonsense. You gotta appreciate it. Do not go with this. Um, uh, in America, they have what they call culture. They call it culture appropriation in America. Um, no, where I come from. It's at least where I come from. It's not. It's far from the. It's far from it. It's culture appreciation. It's so strange. He's just it's just an instance. My wife is an American. So when she traveled to Uganda, she was given some, on her way back. She was given, by her friends she met and some of my siblings. She was given some outfits, apparel, some kind of stuff, and it's got the African print and all that good stuff. See, but because of all this nonsense, I call it nonsense. Because of all this nonsense that is going on, culture appropriation, culture division. It's what it is. Culture division, people division, race division, mankind division of mankind. She decided to withdraw. She just cannot wear it because she feels like, if she's, because we live we live in the Atlanta kind of area, and it's like a lot of people here, mostly African American, and they know, sadly, a lot of them know the American part of it, but they lack the African, the other part of the African in them. Like, Africans are, and this is according to my understanding, is that Africans, how we see culture, of course everybody's entitled to the way they perceive it, But how we see culture is you go to someone's to a place that's new and you just take it in. You take it in. You just appreciate it, and then you want to be that. You want to be that, and that's why the planet. Oh, sorry, the continent has the most languages because it's just a lot of people just going around spreading their culture. Um, it's different down there from here, you know. But yeah, we're here because we're doing this. We're talking. We never talk, so might as well talk. We might as well catch up. We might as well get to know what people are doing. You know, it's a good day. It's a good Saturday. Um, it's a good where I am. It's quiet. You know, so I felt like I should jump on and talk about these things that just the things that I always brainstorm or postulate about with my wife and whoever I come across with. These are some of the intriguing stories out there that need, in my opinion, that need another take. Something catchy. Something catchy, something worth talking about. I mean, you go read a book, you go read an article, you go to class, and you read a discussion that is just throws you off, or somebody talks to you, or you just watch a video on YouTube or TikTok or something, or a call from an old friend. Something just ticks you off, and then you feel like, I need to talk about this. Now, back in the day, we used to have cliques. We used to talk about these things, and this is what I'm trying to say. We don't have that anymore. So we don't see people. People don't like people. In America here, people do not like to be called. This is one thing I know about the American culture, the American people. A majority of them prefer to be texted, and I think that's the younger kind of, in my opinion, I think, which is becoming. They're doing a lot of businesses, so they're more prevalent. So you're better off texting, and they don't like to text back. Yeah, but so who are you going to talk to? So there's a lot to talk about. You can actually talk about everything. I have this thing that I just read and look and watch and see and brainstorm, and I have a perfect partner for that. We're just like that, mind blown. Yeah, just before I go farther into this, though, I just need to call out. See, I'm a great believer of vibration and frequency, especially frequency. I am a great believer that there is a lot of and there's a lot of research, actually. I can go down because I've read a lot of that. I've read a lot of articles into that. I've watched a lot of even movies. I've watched a lot of movies onto this. I just cannot remember any that are touching on this. So frequency is a thing. Just look into it. Please, just look into it. Or don't and say it's not a thing. you know, or just don't. I mean, we have another, you know, mm, we have a word for that. Is it the Dunning-Kruger? The Dunning-Kruger effect, where you feel like you do not know. I'll look it up more, I think. Yeah, the Dunning-Kruger effect, yeah. Where you do not know, and what's worse is that you don't know that you do not know. So, do not be that person. What I say in most cases is backed up with a lot of research. I mean, why else would I talk about it? You know, like boom, there goes like for instance, boom, there goes the picture of the real picture of Mars. It has water, you know. But of course NASA did some trick whatever. They took the picture down and then they made it red again and blah 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 blah. But you know, it's out there now. They know that NASA was a planet that was striving, and it had natural resources. And also, newsflash, the soil on planet Mars is better than the soil here in terms of growing crops. So that's exactly what kind of stuff we talk about. So what I'm trying to say is we need to look up all these things that we come across with. If you come across this podcast. By the way, this podcast is made with the frequency that we're about to touch on. It's not gonna find you unless it has to find you. It's not those kinds of podcasts. It's a podcast that's gonna be worth your time. Yeah, prompt you to leave a comment. I will not ask you to leave a comment. No, I won't ask you to subscribe. No, that's not the kind of thing I'm here. A lot of people have done that already. You know, I just no. This is not the kind of content that It's different. It's esoteric kind of thing. Stuff that you're gonna want to do the work for. And shout out to everybody that's doing the work. There's been a lot of people doing that. TikTok is really, really, really going off the charts. See, there is a reason why the American Congress and American companies, American businesses don't like TikTok. It's bad for business. It's very bad for business. TikTok has not done justice to the American government, because now a lot of Americans know how bad America is, domestically and in the foreign lands. A lot of people now know that America has put a lot of money into stuff that is not the best, does not suit them. So this is our TikTok. So we have to shout out to the people that I was about to shout out at the beginning of this segment is I'm gonna call them, for the lack of better words or better term, I'm gonna call them the chosen ones. And of course, if I get a better word, I'll insert that. But I'm talking about the people out there that are creating the content. Some of them are creating content. Others are talking about deconstructing a lot of beliefs that have been malicious, you know, uh, malevolent beliefs. Like some of, I'm sorry to say, some of the religions that we believe in that don't show the whole picture. Uh, because here's the thing: if you run the numbers and you count the wars that have been around, that have transpired, somewhere or another, you're gonna find a certain religion involved at the highest level. That is scary. What is religion supposed to do? Bring peace? Where there is no peace, there is instability. There is political instability. There's war, you know. At the forefront, a certain religion is involved. This goes without saying. So we are here to talk about that. We are the people who have seen that the world needs to flip. The people who have noticed that the world is not on the right, it's not equilibrium in that kind of sense, you know. And this goes far beyond your political views, your socialism, you know, conservatism. No, this goes up. This goes way above that. This touches on with this in mind, there will not be money. Listen, you don't get this. We are animals. We are the only. I want you to show me an animal right now. Show me an animal. I mean, all jokes aside, show me an animal that pays to live on this planet. It's sad. It's sad that you even have to think about that. Unless you don't call yourself an animal. But for instance, the people in San Francisco, the homelessness in San Francisco, there is people benefiting from this, believe it or not. They are. It's all plain to see. It's a game. This is what happened. The dirty secrets of LA, the dirty secrets of the Silicon Valley. You know, if you go down that rabbit hole, you know, Skid Row. You know what I mean? Hello. Hey. It's my cab. Leo. You wanna? He's not shy normally. So shout out to the chosen people. They are chosen. A very few. There's very few. The reason why they are chosen, you have to be chosen for this because it gets boring. But it's so freaking individually, it's so uplifting, it's so captivating, it is so, there's harmony in it. If you're creating any content and putting it out there, editing and all that good stuff, and you want to make the message, and the message is God is in within you and the world needs to balance, and then love should be the answer for everything. If you take away everything and just leave love there, love just cancels itself out. Just if love is too abundant, it cancels itself out. There's something. So the reason why we come on earth is to get away from that kind of love for a minute and try to experience it. Like the reason why we choose, you're gonna be met with there's a possibility that you're gonna reincarnate here. You're gonna reincarnate as a hated person in your country, and then maybe there will be war, and then you'll have to flee with your family, with your belongings. Some of them won't. Some of them have to die. You are then going to meet up in refugee camps, in tents, and they will rape you over and over, and they will do all these bad things to you, probably, and then they'll kill you, they'll use you, they will kill the people in front of you. And do you sign up for this life? Yeah, why not? Let's go, let's do this. You're coming from love. You have to, in order to come to this place that is so dense and is so low vibrational, because it is designed to be that way by these economists, for lack of better words. You have to be coming from a very, very powerful place, blasphemous place. It has to be very golden, very tranquil, very loving for you to choose to come to reincarnate here. They've made it so bad. They've touched on. See, one of the most beautiful things is giving birth, is creating. It's one of. And in this world today, especially in some of these rich countries, so-called superpowers, they've made it so impossible for people to enjoy that, especially the majority who are the working class, the middle class. It's hard to enjoy, that, couple that with the bills. You got to go to school and study for some career. That's not going to pay you enough to pay for your school. So the math does not math up. It does not add up if you think about it. But shout out to these chosen ones. Well, I'm calling them out, though. I'm calling them out. I'm calling out all the chosen ones. I'm talking about the people who just, you feel it. It's in within you to talk about these things. It's in within you to point out that hate is happening there. Look over there. There's hate. Take it a step at a time. It's good to point out that, listen, there can be alternatives to toilet paper. We don't have to cut down trees for toilet paper in 2024. Trees are just, here to also just serve a reincarnation and enjoy that. I mean, just learn something. But by doing that, we're killing all the oxygen that we're getting. You know what I'm saying? So we're releasing all this carbon dioxide for these trees, for these plants. But we're killing the oxygen that they're giving us back. So again, the math is not mathing up, if you ask me. I support that. So yeah. What am I? If you're gonna ask me what I am, what I do, what we do, what I feel like. Listen, here's the thing. If it's going to be, we're sick and tired of, we're sick and tired of this public education. We're sick and tired of this, like for instance, the American public education system. It's a joke. It's a joke. Something has to be done there. So the chosen people are, that we're trying to talk to in most cases. Majority of the people watching this are gonna feel like that, because for you to give this time and listen to this and whatnot, you know what I'm talking about. You know how it was like growing up, as a millennial, if you are a millennial, if you are, an X, you know how bad it was. You know that you have to do some healing. You know that you blame yourself for a lot of things. You know that you blame yourself for somebody dying. You lost somebody to the system. You know that these bills, they just keep on coming. You know that something better has to be done. You know that things are not really working out because everywhere you put your ideas, there is a hurdle. You can climb over it, but it's nevertheless a hurdle, because of the status that you are in, or society has deemed you fit to be in. Now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you feel something has to be done. Now, what has to be done? It's simple. It's actually reform. It's education. Change it to edification. This is transformation. You know what I mean? We are going to try to educate ourselves. Yes, we are. They're not going to think for us anymore. They're not going to think for you anymore. They're not going to think for your kids anymore. I guarantee you, if you went and read a book and this is what we've been talking about, if you look back to what we hinted on how TikTok has helped the world, a lot of Americans don't know how many countries share their continent with them. They don't know that. A lot of these people don't know the amount of work, the amount of empirical research, empirical evidence that has gone into meditation, they had to ship out a Buddhist monk from Tibet or something. He had to come here, wear these fancy science goggles and whatnot, have all that attached to their head, to find out exactly what the hell these people are doing when they sit there in solitude, when they meditate. That's what they're trying to say. When they meditate, you know. Well, guess what? Of course, the machines, expensive machines, they gave us the answer. It calms the brain. It calms the brain. And so, countries, in Japan and whatnot, I think there's some European countries that care about their children. Is it Sweden, if I'm not mistaken? Don't quote me on that. Sweden or something. They're integrating meditation for their kids. Yeah. They're having them sit with themselves and think. Let your thoughts calm down. Control your breathing. Control your breathing. In any situation, if you control your breathing, put meditation aside. I mean, meditation is breathing, breath work and whatnot. But put that aside. In every situation, if you take a deep breath, you're going to speak better. So, if you can speak better, if you can control your mood, if you can control your chi is that energy that is in within you that controls your well-being, your health, even your mood. So if you can control that through your breathing exercises and doing this and whatnot, just imagine how much you can control if you sat there for longer hours, how much you can tap into. And of course, we do believe in dimensions. It's official now, at least according to science, the science that gave us penicillin, that we all love, right? So it is official. Science tells us that at least there's more than 10 dimensions. At least there's more than 10 dimensions. We're in the third. We're in the third dimension. And so, how do we get to the fourth? You cannot take a ticket, a plane ticket there. I don't think. It's already official. 11 plus dimensions and whatnot. How do we live the third? Maybe the third does not go with our human body. Maybe the human body was built by the soul to experience the dimension number 3. Because when you die, you won't be able to touch the ground. It's impossible. Yeah, we are connected. It's intertwined. You'll be floating with the rest. All that good stuff. So yeah, I'm calling out all the chosen people. When you can take the world back to the level that we are on right now, to take us away from this level and take us to a platform that's less dense than this, less lies, lies through a media, lies through leaders, all this. Just take us away from all this. It has to begin with you. It has to begin with you. You have to notice that there is something wrong. You have noticed it. You've gone through it. These bills are not adding up. You just recently paid a bill. Another bill is coming. You've just recently you needed a break, and you don't see fans to take you on this break. You recently need to help out somebody here, and you don't see any means. You can't even extend a phone call because you're too busy trying to do busy work because you gotta pay bills. That's not living. That is someone else's way that they want us to live. Nobody ever wrote down on a manuscript somewhere that living on earth is going to be about this. Paying the credit union, paying TransUnion fees, capital, whatever, paying mortgage, loan, care, whatever. That is not how the earth was designed to be in place. Somebody's sitting there pulling this string and wanting that to be the norm. Edification, not education anymore. We've got to transform. We are here. We have to be here. Now we know what's hurting us. Now we know that when it rains, you need to have a roof on your head. So now you're going to put a roof. And now we know that rain is not a problem. Now we're going to use that rainwater, keep it and cook with it, wash with it, drink it, whatever. Because now that's just a beautiful, we've cultivated that. And now we've used it. It's now an ecosystem service. If you feel me. So we go on to the next problem. Now we've elevated. Everything is supposed to be moving. The one constant thing on the universe is change. What does that mean? Things have to move. That sun is moving. It's going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until it cannot grow anymore. Then it will be no more. We're moving farther away from the sun as is. So, edification, not education. We are living for ourselves. We are immortal. We cannot. The fact that we cannot die, that surely puts you on a platform above everything. All you gotta do is understand how that works, how that money, how does that play right now? Right now, how do I integrate whatever I am talking about into my planning right now? Because you have to do this. Because we have to change the way we've been doing things. Because we're drilling ourselves into a hole. And how are we doing that? It's because we're working in circles. If you do not change course, you end up where you're going. You got to keep on going. You're going to drill yourself into a hole. You don't want to come up unless somebody gives you a hand. There's very few people that are doing that nowadays. They're gonna give you a hand, but in pretense, a majority of them, you can vouch for me. Majority of them are gonna give you a hand, but you gotta pay them. The good old days, they were not so good. Whatever, it's just a cliche thing that we say because you don't want to bring back the days where we didn't have internet, right, babe? You know. So it wasn't really the good old days, but we're just gonna say that the days back there where we used to sit around and postulate and understand these things, understand, oh yeah, there's a shooting star. How does that work? This and that. They're gone. So now we're going to talk about this right now. You know, we're supposed to live for ourselves. We're supposed to live in harmony. At least live in harmony. At least have the basic needs met. It's not the case. It's not the case because we have stopped wanting it. But there is a very, very breeze on the horizon that is putting there will be a shift soon, as we mentioned in my first video earlier. There will be a shift soon because I believe that I trust that the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas of course they still need more guidance, but I trust that they got this. Because from them in this time of Aquarius, they can't help it. They cannot help but ask questions. They cannot help but want people to be held accountable. You know, so good luck to the future presidents. You know. So since we already know that we are one, we cannot not point out a lot of mishappenings and what is not what. You know, it doesn't matter if you are in your comfort zone and you feel like you have a point that you need to put across. You've got to feel free to do that. You know, you've got to feel free to let these kids ask questions. You've got to feel free to heal, to transform yourself. You know, you've got to feel free to, if you're going to be a great talker, you feel free to be a great listener. You know, and vice versa. You know, you got to have both. You know, let the kids have questions and give them the good answers and go ahead and dig deep. You know, don't give them the half-baked answers. You know, the lies and all that nonsense that we grew up hearing. You know, because where I grew up was all stupid answers. You know, like you ask the right questions, they just smack you instead of wanting. Because I remember this time when I asked, I was in a boarding school, Catholic boarding school. It was back in '97. I asked this, it was a Catholic brother or whatever. I asked him, doesn't the Bible say for you to take all your prayers and everything to, doesn't Mary say this in the Bible, to take all your prayers to her son, Jesus? And they said, yeah, you should do that. We pray to Mary, but then you're praying to Mary, but she's clearly instructing you to not do that. And I got smacked for that. Really sad stuff. And they're still doing that, unfortunately. So you gotta call that nonsense. That's BS, That's manatee BS right there. I want to hear that. You gotta, and I can't even start with boarding schools from where I come from. Boarding schools in Uganda need to freaking, they gotta be scrutinized. Some of those schools need to be locked up. You don't know the kind of stuff they do to the kids. Waking up in the freaking nights and whatnot, going to what? You don't know the food they eat. Bunch of lying whatevers, bureaucrats and whatnot. So yeah, that's another topic we can cover some other time, but it's really interesting, to see that the world is being put at a standstill. There's a lot of people here who are intimidated or freaked out, anxious about the nuke-gaden. Shall I say the nuke-gaden? The end of the world via nuclear. Rightly so. Because people are crazy. People are some have some emotions. Others don't have a lot of emotions. Others are just straight emotionless. And these might be the people that might be in charge of the nuke that day. And so the issue with that, it only takes one nuke to level this earth. But so to that I say, yeah. Because there's been crazy people. Crazy stories we're hearing about 9/11. Crazy stories we're hearing about the death of Libyan President Gaddafi. Crazy stories we're hearing about Patrice Lumumba. Crazy stories we're hearing about the extinction of the buffaloes in the early, times in America. Crazy stories about JFK. Crazy stories about Columbus in the 15th century. So, crazy stories. And these crazy stories have one thing in common. A man in charge. So, this is a patriarchy. And I hate that because that's wrong. I strongly trust in matriarchies. I strongly trust that men should only be led by women. Men should lead from the front. Women should lead from the back. Men should follow, but from the front. Men should follow from the front. Women lead. You know what I mean? You gotta think like a woman. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Do you worry about nuclear leveling Earth? As long as there's men in charge, yes. It's a wrong setup. Men can only be in front. Men can only lead the way if they're being led by women in the back. So but that should not be the it should not be the way. You cannot live in such fear. You cannot live this life that you chose for yourself, this life that you've created yourself. This life, there's a lot of entities, there's a lot of energy that's around you. There's a lot of parties involved in this beautiful life of yours that you chose to come here, to reincarnate here and experience. And that's the sad thing. That's why I am a big advocate for edification, because there is a lot of understanding. A lot of people just do not know why they're here. A lot of people just do not know what it goes into this. It would be very good if people met their guardians. I still think that would be a very good thing, because everybody's got one. Majority of people have more than one. If you have ancestors, most likely have ancestors, and at least people get an is a small bite of what's happening on in the world. If they see, if they learn the power of their avatar, that it's just a suit that is housing this energy that is billions, trillions of times stronger. It's unlimited energy, stronger than nuclear. That energy that was not created, that energy that cannot be destroyed, that's sitting right in you. It designed your avatar to come and experience this life. So you have to understand the context of why you're here. That's the sweetest thing. There's a lot of good books. I've been wanting to get into this. I'm actually getting into this Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. It's a really interesting book, I've heard. And there's a lot of learning that we have to do, if not for you, for your children and their children. There's a lot of what prompted me to start this getting together and talking to people is that there's a lot of topics that need to be talked about that just they don't get enough time to be discussed, and these are very profound subjects, that if you stick to these points in your life, as a lot of things are going to change. A lot of things are just going to, you might call them doors, opportunities, whatever. A lot of things are going to be weird. But you're not going to be naive anymore. You're not. The first thing is to know that you are loved and that you are only here to learn some things. What things you're going to ask me? To that question I say, what did you learn yesterday? What are you going to learn today? Those things you're here to learn. Did you have a fight with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, significant other, from that fight, did you take accountability? Was it confirmation bias all along? Did you manage your morale? Did you how was your chi? Did you calm your chi? Did you breathe before yelling? Did you yell? Did you physically assault her or him? Did you lose it? Insert. How did you react to that? Did they fire you? Did you yell? Did you want to kill yourself? Did you yell at your kids? Did you yell at your friends? Did you flip people off? Were you that kind of driver on the highway? What did you learn yesterday? What happened yesterday, this week, this month, last year, this 5 years? That is why you're here. And that will stop, and you'll go away. You'll go back to where you came from. It's called love. You'll go back to love. Some people call it God. Some people call it the source. Some people call it heaven. I call it love. I can call it love. You will go back to love. Address love. So it has been a long podcast already. I normally talk for longer, but I'll get into a lot of deeper topics in a while. But it is what it is. We have reached to a time where you cannot hate, and hate is a big word, and I'm using it rightly here. You cannot hate an individual. For instance, you cannot hate me for my brutal honesty and expect me to sit back and support your frequent sugarcoating. That's just something I'm gonna leave before I close off. Listen, it's been interesting talking to y'all, and I hope to talk to you more. Take care. And remember, you're God's.